Gone are the days of corporal punishment, and I say good riddance. But it begs the question, does positive behavior intervention allow for poor classroom behavior consequences? Hi there, teachers. Marian Busfield here from Engaging Curiosity, here to empower you to take charge in the classroom by supporting you with classroom management strategies and resources. I am a faith-led, married, mother of two, grandmother to one, outdoor enthusiast, and retired teacher. My passion is to share what I know about teaching to support this wonderful new generation of teachers. In the links down below, you will find my free classroom management checklist. Download the checklist and you can check off what you already have in place and then maybe set some goals for what you see as your next need in your own classroom for your own classroom management. Thank you for joining me today, and please remember to press like and subscribe below. That is the best way you can help me to reach other teachers. So, does a positive behavior approach allow for poor classroom behavior consequences? The short answer is absolutely. The longer answer is what we're digging into today. Actually, classroom behavior consequences are an essential part of reinforcing positive behavior in the classroom. When we establish classroom expectations together, hopefully, we are providing our students with the what. What are they supposed to do? What can they expect from other people? But we have not yet provided them with the how, or sometimes even the why. When we are reinforcing classroom expectations, we are teaching them the how and oftentimes the why. So I am teaching the students every time I walk around the classroom and say something like, Clarissa, nice work practicing what we just learned about counting the sounds in your words. And I am quite literally that long-winded. I'm teaching them that 1, I expect them to implement what I teach them. 2, I will hold them accountable to that expectation. 3, I will acknowledge their hard work. And 4, the consequence of their good choices is an affirmation for the whole class to hear. I have seen students counting sounds incorrectly, and I have still reinforced the effort positively. I can still reteach the concept if they are doing it incorrectly, but first I am reinforcing desired behaviors in the classroom to teach them to make good choices. So what about consequences for not following the classroom rules? Well, I don't know about you, but I've made a whole lot of mistakes in my life. I have had the best of intentions, and I have even chosen not to listen to the wisdom of people I trust, and then got ahead and made poor choices. Does that make me a bad person? No, it doesn't. Okay, so the first thing about giving students consequences for not following classroom rules is to remember that there is a difference between a bad choice and a bad person. So I use choices language all the time. Show me carpet choices, please. What do our chapel choices look like? Put up your hand to share an example of a good walking in the hallway choice. Did you notice that I'm integrating social emotional instruction into classroom management just by naming their behaviors as choices? But what about reinforcing classroom rules that have been broken? There are classroom behavior consequences for poor choices. No matter how kind, affirming, loving, patient, hard-skinned, and hardworking you are, there will always be poor choices to address in the classroom. Why? Because you're working with kids and they are learning. But also, sometimes the evidence of them feeling safe with you in the classroom is that they will test the limits. Oh, joy. So regardless of whether the behavior stems from confidence or more difficult emotions, such as anger, frustration, hurt, sorrow, illness, parental quarreling, being excluded by friends or siblings, and the list goes on, there will be poor choices. So what now? So we're going to start by considering some preemptive planning. Yes, I did say focus on positive behavior reinforcement, but providing classroom consequences that work requires strategizing. So let's look at strategies. First, post-classroom expectations. Whether they are posted in one place on a simple sticking note chart like mine were, or you print off multiple charts for various places like center tables, doorways for lineup, recess, chapel, music, whatever you may need. Carpet review expectations prior to hands-on activities in science, math, socials, or even before silent reading. So 2, review expectations regularly. Even if the charts aren't posted all the time, put them up to review them prior to transitions. 3, teach what those expectations look like. 4, connect the expectations to classroom activities. Help the students to see when and where in the classroom these expectations are necessary and appropriate. 5, celebrate. As I've mentioned before, affirm good choices. 6, refer back. When a student is making poor choices, refer back to the expectations, just not in a way that is shaming, but rather in a way that is instructive. What happens when the preemptive planning strategy isn't working? Now it must be time to take off the gloves? Nope, not at all. Your next strategy is to smile with empathy and understanding. I can see that it is very difficult for you. Sometimes we need to practice hard things like riding a bike, swinging, or playing soccer. Need practice. So does meeting some of these expectations. I am happy to give up my time at recess to sit here and practice with you. Sometimes when we love someone, we have to give up something to help them, and I will give you my recess time. Wait, so don't turn off the video. Listen for a moment. So you might be wondering, how does giving up your recess even work? If they are blurting out, have them sit there and practice not blurting out. If they are not doing their writing during class time, give them practice doing their work at recess. If they are handsy with other students at the carpet, have them practice sitting at the carpet with their hands in their laps. Meanwhile, you help them by continuing in the role of teacher while they practice. In other words, you do whatever you need to do and tell them that you are right there if they need you to help them. So if they try to turn this into an engaging conversation, just let them know that practice doesn't start until they are working on their job quietly. Works like a charm for most kiddos who are just being mischievous or even forgetful. Carry through on the first recess with the first kiddo. Depending upon the class, it may require 1 or 2 more times, and I don't mean 1 or 2 more times per student, I mean per class. By then they will start to do a cost-benefit analysis. That's not working. And you are really running out of gas here. Well, I'm going to say stick with it. Sometimes it will take time, but yes, there are other strategies. An example would be behavioral reflections, which can also be a benefit. I find the efficacy is highly connected to how the student's reflection is discussed with an adult and whether or not relationships are rebuilt afterwards. Personally, I love student reflection under these circumstances. In person, with the student or students, quietly at my desk as a conversation, and often at lunchtime. Then what to do when positive classroom behavior consequences don't work. So full confession, I am not a believer in sending students to the office or sending them to work in the hall. Before you implement anything sterner, please make sure you have these things in place, or at least you are trying to. 1, a positive student-teacher relationship. 2, ongoing social emotional instruction. 3, restorative practices. 4, grace and mercy. Model this to the student who is struggling and to the other students. But still, positive classroom behavior consequences just aren't working. Okay, it's true. Positive behavior affirmations do not work in all circumstances. There are students that need more help and some that need much more. The list of reasons why is long and can be very sad. Trauma, neglect, illness, too much responsibility, bullying at home or at school, physiological, such as ADHD, fetal alcohol syndrome, and so much more. People write books on this. I know this because I've read some of them. This is more than we have time for today here on this video, but keep an eye on my channel. We'll be discussing more strategies in future videos. For now, keep implementing the core strategies I've mentioned in my blog, in this video, and in other posts on my site. Then affirm yourself for loving the child who is struggling enough to do all of the work that creates a positive classroom environment. Thank you for joining me today for this video on positive behavioral intervention. Please press like, subscribe, and notify so I can help as many teachers as possible. In the meantime, please share a connection or goal for positive behavioral support in your classroom in the comments below. And join me at my blog, engagingcuriosity.ca. Find the link below for that and download my free classroom management checklist, also using the link below. And lastly, sign up for my newsletter at the link below to receive links to my blog and video content on a weekly basis. Bye now.